Hello everyone and welcome back to my journey of solo learning Japanese. For those of you who are new, I recommend checking out the previous videos in the series to get a better idea of what's going on. However, to put it simply, I'll be documenting my ups and downs throughout this journey of learning Japanese from scratch and relaying it back to you, the viewer. I have zero prior knowledge when it comes to seriously learning another language, and the end goal will be reaching N1 level fluency and possibly native level fluency after that. However, it might be something I have to do on my own time because at that point, it could be too hard to track, and you really never truly stop learning with a language, so there's really no end-all be-all with native level fluency at least. Now, I just want to answer one question with this series, which is, how long does it really take to learn Japanese? Okay, let's get right into it, shall we? I hope everybody is having a great week and that you learned something new. Now, this week was a little inconsistent in terms of study time, so bear with me. On Monday, I didn't study at all. Tuesday, I got 20 minutes of kanji. Wednesday, I got an hour and 26 of kanji. Thursday, I had 43 minutes of kanji, an hour and 11 minutes of grammar, 30 minutes of reading, 7 minutes of listening comprehension, and 20 minutes of what I'll call informative Japanese videos, kind of like tips and advice to learning Japanese, that sort of stuff. On Friday, I had 40 minutes of kanji and an hour and 38 minutes of grammar. Saturday, I had 27 minutes of kanji and an hour and 33 minutes of grammar. Lastly, on Sunday, I had 21 minutes of kanji, 1 hour 43 minutes of grammar, and 11 minutes of informative Japanese videos. All this adds to a total of 11 hours and 10 minutes, which brings the grand total up to 73 hours and 6 minutes. We are certainly closing in on that 100-hour mark. Alright, let's cover the kanji learned this week. It's certainly less than last week, and that is because I think it is important to spend a little more time on review every couple weeks or sometimes even more frequently, just to make sure you're actually retaining your knowledge. This can also help you tweak your study methods to what works for you by trial and error. Anyways, this week's new kanji / words with kanji were gakusei, meaning student, daigaku, meaning university or college, ko, meaning school, and I believe that's the suffix version because gakko also means school. Chugakko, meaning junior high school, hairu, to enter or to get into. Ireru means to put in. Miru means to see or to watch. Miseru, to show or to display. Mon means gate. Aira means between. Jikan means time / hour. And I'm not really sure what the difference is between jikan and toki, because I know they both mean time / hour. Maybe one's a counter for something, I'm not sure. And the same goes for the next one, which is shukan, which is weeks or week or weeks. Again, I think that's a counter for weeks, because I know shu is normally weeks, so not really sure on that one. Nanjikan, how many hours. Kiru, to listen, to hear, or to speak. And kaku, to write. Lastly, I'll flip through the notes I took this week and last week for grammar. So currently, I've been taking notes on Tokini Andy's Genki JLPT N5 playlist, as well as Kiradali's Japanese from Scratch course, in order to get information from multiple sources and different teaching styles, as I believe you should try and forget everything you think you know and just become a big giant sponge when it comes to learning any new thing. I'll admit, it is certainly possible to end up learning some wrong things or picking up bad habits by doing this. However, I like to think there's enough good things out there that you can learn for any given subject, so it kind of just outweighs the bad in this scenario, and then in the end it will all work out. I also want to give a thanks to you, the viewers, for giving me advice and supporting my journey. It will always be very much appreciated, and it really does help me through any difficulties I encounter. And there are a lot of difficulties to encounter on learning Japanese. So I'd also like to add that I will leave a link in the description for these playlists, as well as everything I've been using in my first month of learning Japanese. Hopefully this will help or inspire some of you to start learning something new yourself. Remember, it doesn't have to be Japanese, or even a language. As long as it's something you're interested in, you might as well give it a shot. So the first goal from last week was spending 6 hours of study time dedicated to grammar, and we ended up with 6 hours and 5 minutes, which means this goal is a success. Now, for the next goal, we'll cut to real time, so I apologize for any lack in quality, but I'll have to use my phone to record my voice for the reading portion. My setup's just not that good yet. Okay, everyone, so basically, because I couldn't really find anything for paragraphs per se, especially without the furigana. It was either it had furigana or it didn't have furigana, and I didn't know like probably 80% of the kanji, and it just I don't think it was gonna happen. So technically the goal will be a failure, unfortunately. However, I still want to attempt reading this, because even with the furigana, like, I still kind of struggle sometimes. So today's story, we're just gonna kind of focus on pronunciation, trying to interpret what it's saying. I mean, we have pictures, so it shouldn't be too hard, but we're gonna try and understand what they're saying, kind of get the gist of the sentence, and it looks like a question book, so maybe answer questions. Let's see. So, boku no otou-san. I know boku is like a informal way of saying like I'm pretty sure, and then otou-san is obviously father. And no is the particle that I can't really remember what no does. I will remember it eventually. I've like a couple of you guys told me the differences, which I really appreciate, and I even learned about it twice in Tokini Annie's thing, but it still hasn't stuck in my head, so we'll get there eventually. Anyways, not gonna read that. 僕のお父さんはどれ? I know どれ is which. お父さん's father. And then the particle is no and wa. It's always, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason, but I found it funny that like this is ha, or so this is ha right here, but like I rarely ever see it said as like ha. You know, like it's always wa. I mean, because it's the particle, but it's just funny that like it's like, why don't you just use wa, like the actual thing for wa? I'm sure there's a reason though. So yeah, 僕のお父さんはどれ? So like, I guess which one's the father? And judging from the looks of it, I think it's safe to say it's number 3. I mean, this dude looks nothing like these other 3. So, 僕のお父さんは顔が赤いです. So father, I'm asking des is like it is, I'm pretty sure. So akai, I don't know what akai or ko is, and I think ga is another particle there. I could be wrong, but I think the word is ko and then akai. So I don't know what those mean, but let's see. Okay, so we were right. That was the father. So let's see. 僕のお父さんはこれです. Basically just saying that's the father, I guess. Oh yeah, I think it's just saying this is the father right here, and I guess it's called Nihon Zaru, right? Nihon Zaru. I forgot what this animal is called in English, so I don't remember, but it's in Japanese. It's a Nihon Zaru. Okay, next up. 僕のお父さんはどれ? So again, which one's the father? this one's even easier. I mean, we got a flamingo, a penguin, an ostrich, and like a duck, swan. I don't know. It's definitely number 4 though. 僕のお父さんは首が長いです。羽が白いです。So I know 白 is white. I guess one of these is probably the name of this animal, or like it's talking about the other ones maybe. So like Kubi or Nagai. I'm not sure which one's the animal, but it's definitely number 4. I mean, that's an obvious one. Yep, right again, 2 for 2. Let's go, baby. So, 僕のお父さんはこれです. This is the father, and its name is Hakucho. So, Hakucho. So yeah, the word's not here, so I don't know what these mean. I'll not gonna look them up right now, but I'll probably end up looking them up later. Okay. 僕たちのお父さんはどれ? Which one's the father? See, those are tadpoles, so it's definitely a frog. It's like a catfish, praying mantis. I hope no one's picking praying mantis on this one. 僕たちのお父さんは緑色です。足が4本です. I know hon is book, right? But like, see, that's the thing. So ashi is foot. I know that. I have no idea what midoriro is. And this is a problem I've been having when it comes to reading, and it's like, yon is 4, but there's like other ways to say 4, and I know some, because like sometimes it's just different, and I haven't really figured out why. I think it just has to do with like if it's like a year versus like if you're saying like 47 or something, stuff like that. And I don't know, a little confusing for me. Anyways, let's see if we got it right. We got it right. It's the frog. So, 僕たちのお父さんはこれです。カエル。So yeah, カエル. I don't know what this is down here. カエルの子は Co's child. 子はおたまじゃくしです. No idea what that means. カエル, that's the frog. カエルとはいません. I know that's the kanji for to say. I'm pretty, because that's the kanji is like iu or something like that. Yeah, because it's in the kanji for Nihongo, which is a language. So I know this kanji, but I don't. That's another thing. It's like you think you finally learn a kanji, and then you realize that there's like so many different ways to say a certain kanji. Like depending on what words it's with or what words it's like mixed in with, and like I've begun learning a little bit more about like why that is. Not enough to be able to explain it, but it's like such like a kick in the face, because it's like you finally start learning your kanji. You're like, all right, I'm going, like I'm cruising, and then you get hit in the face with like the reality of like, all right, you've learned how to say this kanji and it's like base form, right? Now how do you say it when these hiragana letters are attached to it, or this is attached to it, or this other kanji is attached to it? And there's like 5 different ways to say it. I don't think it's for every single one of them, but it's definitely for a lot. I'm gonna stop here just because I don't want this video to be 30 minutes long, but I think we can, maybe I'll make this more a regular part of the series, and I'll do the, see what's next. Tiger. Yeah, so I'll do the second half of this book next week, probably. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, back on the mic now, and to be honest, it didn't go too bad. I mean, sure, I struggled a bit, but I was able to understand what some of the sentences meant, not just the words, so for me, it's certainly an improvement. However, this will still count as a fail due to there being furigana, which will bring the total for goals completed to 6 out of 9. Now, all that's left to talk about is the future. The time has finally come to set next week's goals. To start off, the first goal will be 10 hours of listening comprehension. You might be thinking, that's a lot, and you might be right. However, I tried doing a listening test for N5/beginner level, thinking like, this is gonna be pretty easy. There might be a couple words I don't know, but my God was I humbled. I mean, I could probably pick out maybe 1 or 2 words every 10 words spoken. Like, this was normal level speaking, right? Like, just, I went to the mall today. How about you? Like that, like, just not like super fast, but obviously it's fast to me. And it didn't go well. It did not go well. I was a little too confident, but I digress. So basically, I really want to hammer in the active listening comprehension this week and for all future weeks. Because remember, passive listening is not enough on its own. It just gets you familiar with the sound. And my second goal will be to learn 50 vocab words, as I've realized I could definitely use more vocabulary in my very limited arsenal, as I'm starting to get to the point where I'm trying to conjure up super basic sentences in my mind and kind of mix and match different words, play around a little bit with the language, and I want to kind of form new sentences here and there. Eventually, I'd like to form, complex sentences, not just 3-4 words, but we'll get there eventually, so, I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic. But with that, there's only one thing left to say. Goodbye, and good luck.